Good morning, boys and girls. It's Miss Petrelli, and welcome to our art class again. I'm really excited to see you. I know that we were discussing shape last time. That was the purpose of our lesson, and it still is. So let's quickly review what we learned last week, which was that there are two families of shapes, right? And the first family of shapes that we were talking about were the biomorphic shapes, right? So biomorphic shapes look like they might remind us of something outdoors, something found in nature, and they don't have names, right? This is not, if I ask you what you think this is, it might be different than what I think it is, right? So these shapes are found in nature, they don't have names, and they are called biomorphic. You say, biomorphic. Excellent. Now these shapes, geometric, if I asked you what this is, what would you say? You're right. If you said circle, that's correct. Because these shapes, circle, triangle, oval, these shapes that are in the geometric family, they all have their own individual names, just like we do, right? Right. So we can't call this something else because it already has a name. So if you remember back, all the way back to kindergarten or first grade, for those of you who had me, let's review the biomorphic shapes by singing that little song, okay? If you remember it, sing it along with me, all right? Biomorphic shapes have no names, have no names. They are found in nature, they are found in nature. Now we know, now we know. Now, we sang that in our classroom, in our art room, and when we went like this, we were pointing out of the what? Window, pointing out towards the window into the outdoors in nature, right? So these shapes that we are learning about are biomorphic shapes. And what we're gonna do, or what the assignment was for last week, was to find something interesting in your house or in your kitchen or somewhere that would create some type of biomorphic shape. So I used a can opener, and you might have used something else, which I'm so excited to see. And I said to take that object and trace it in pencil and then build upon it. So you could add other lines or other shapes that were not a part of that particular object. So if I wanted to add more here, I could do this and just add some more lines. Now every time I add a line, boys and girls, I am breaking up this space into a smaller space, into a smaller shape, right? Let's review that shape is an enclosed space. So we would take a line, whether it's a line like this, let's just say we have a line, it's curved, it's coming around, around, around. Once it connects, is it now a curved line still? No. It has now been transformed from a curved line into an oval or a circle shape, right? And that is in our geometric family. So, for this week's assignment, I want you to bring this creature to life, and you can do it any way that you choose. If you have markers, crayons, oil pastels, paints, you may use whatever you have available to you in your home, okay? And I just wanted to show you a few different effects, okay, or a few different looks. So for this creature right here, I colored in the whole creature in marker. And the reason that I did that was because the ink from the marker is very, very concentrated, and it makes the colors really, really dark and yet bright at the same time. So by doing the creature in marker only and then doing the background in crayon only, it really makes your creature pop or stand out from the rest of your piece. If you have markers, if you have crayons, you can do it this way. You could combine them. You could do it in marker as well as crayon. You could use both. You could trace like I did here in green marker, and then you could color in this area or color in all of these biomorphic shapes in crayon, right? And that would show a contrast or a difference, right? So they're both green, the color is the same, but the material is different and it shows a different look. So the reason that I did crayon here is because I was using watercolor. And so the crayon, the wax in the crayon stays on the paper, and then as you paint with the watercolor on top of it, the crayon resists. It says, hey, get off me, I want to be showing. So the crayon stays, and then the watercolor washes off of the crayon, okay? And that's a wax resist that we've done at school. So I just wanted to show you that there are many different ways that you could work on your piece. This side of it, I just did it in crayon, and I left it in crayon. And you could do that as well, okay? So I just wanted to show you a little bit. I'm going to do my very, very best to do my work carefully and neatly, even though I had a slight mishap. I am still not going to quit. I am still going to do my very, very best, no matter what, because I am proud of my work, always. So I am going to, I think, start working on this guy or this creature right here. And I think I'm gonna make this outer space. So I could either make it black in marker if I wanted to, or I could use just a black crayon. But since my background is gonna be black, I want all of my creature to be super bright against my background. So I am going to start by using a red marker, and I'm going to try to fill in some of my creature. Now remember, when you color in marker, it is very, very important, even more important than when you do it in crayon, to color in the same direction. If you don't color in the same direction with a marker, all of your lines will show. All of these marker strokes are going to show. And the more you go over the same spot, scrabbling, it's going to make a hole in your paper. And some of you already know that from having it happen to us in our art room. If you go over the same spot in marker, the wetness from the ink causes your paper to weaken, and then it makes a hole, and it looks like, I don't know, not showing your best effort. So please take your time. It doesn't take a long time to color in marker, and it looks beautiful and bright, but you have to take your time and show your best effort, right? So I am taking my time, I'm going very slowly, I'm doing my very best. Now, you're gonna choose whatever colors you like. So I was thinking about just showing you guys, I don't have the huge color chart that we have back at school in our room, but I do have these guys. And I just wanted to remind you that we have color families, right? So we have what colors are these again, boys and girls? Good. For those of you who remembered the warm colors, you're correct. Warm colors remind us of the colors of the sun outdoors. The sun is only these colors, or maybe pinkish sometimes, right? Which is in the red family, right? But you never see the sun green, do you? No, that's for leaves and grass and, you know, other greenery outside, bushes maybe. But do you ever see the sun purple? No, not the sun itself. In the sunset, in the sunrise, in the sky, yes, you can see purple, but not the actual sun. And I've never seen a blue sun either. So these colors that are the colors of the sun are called the warm colors. The cool colors, just as a reminder, right, are these. And they remind us of maybe cold weather or winter or nighttime or, I don't know, the ocean, right? Something cold, cool, okay? So cool colors, warm colors, you can choose whatever colors you want, okay? Just remember though, that if your whole creature is colorful with all of the colors of the rainbow or the color wheel, then should your background also use all of those colors? Probably not, right? Because then your creature would be lost. It would start to disappear into all of the color on your page. So you want to make sure that you emphasize or put importance on your creature, right? So I'm just going to continue to color in my creature. And I can make it whatever colors I want. But I just want to make sure that I am coloring in the same direction, right? So I'm going to finish this up here. And I'm going to take my time, and now I can select whatever other colors I want. Maybe I want to use the complementary colors, right? Maybe I want to go across the color wheel. So I'm going to make his eyes in green crayon. Maybe I want to do that. And I'm going to have to use this hand, but that's okay. So maybe I want to show a contrast or show a difference between the marker and the crayon. And I figured since his eyeballs are a small area, then that's okay to do. And speaking of areas, when we work in marker, usually you want to use marker on a small space, in a small area. Why? Because if you use the marker in a small area, you can control how your movement goes, and you can hide all of the lines that the marker creates. If you color the background or all of this space in marker, number one, it takes a very long time, and which you're welcome to do, and it will show more lines. There's more space to cover, and so you will see more of those marker lines. In a smaller space, you don't see those lines as much, okay? It's easier to fill in. So I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this. I like how it looks so far. And maybe I wanna add some of this marker to some of these fins or whatever this is. I can't figure it out. Is this a flying creature? Is it a swimming creature? I don't know. If I'm going to make it outer space, then I think it would be a flying or a floating one. And if it's in the ocean, then I guess it would swim with fins like a fish. And as we're working, you can make discoveries. Like here I figured maybe I'm going to make a pattern, right? I'm going to alternate marker leave it blank. Marker, leave it blank. Green, white, green, white, green, white. And by repeating that in that way, I am creating a pattern, which just makes it a little bit more interesting than just making all of the fin green. And then I could go back in. And if I wanted to do it in the crayon again, I could. Maybe I want to do it like that. I don't know. Do you have to do what I do? No, I hope you know that already. And do you have to choose the same colors that I choose? Absolutely not, boys and girls. I want you to know that whatever I do here, I do as my example, right? And I'm only one Mrs. Petrelli, so I can only do one at a time. You are able to and free to do and create your piece however you like. I am just providing you with examples and tools, artist tools, and you are the ones that have these materials. But we are just discovering and exploring together, okay? It doesn't mean that you have to make yours look like mine. Because you know what? I want to see what you're doing. I want your great ideas to show. I already know what my ideas are, and so do you. So, that's kind of what I wanted to show you. And that I wanted you to make sure to continue to remember that the purpose of our lesson is biomorphic shapes, okay? So I do have a circle here and I have a circle here, but, and here. But aside from that, all of the other shapes that I have created are biomorphic. They don't have a name. I could call them a lalabalala. I could call this one a shuza. I don't know, right? I'm making things up. Because they are biomorphic and they are found in nature, they remind each and every one of us of something different, right? And so I really would like for you to work on these pieces and show pride in your work, take your time, and be creative. And if you want to name your creature, you certainly can. You can give it a name. If it's imaginary, you can name it. If it's something that you've seen or it's half realistic and half surrealistic or imaginary, you can do that too. I want to remind everybody also, because the younger kids are not knowing yet, I need you to sign your name like artists at the bottom, small, okay? The minute that you add words, whether it's your name or another word, to the top, your eye directly goes to that written information because our brain already knows, oh, those are letters. That means something. So our eye goes directly to the words to get information about this piece. You want the viewer or the one who is looking at your artwork to get their own ideas about what your artwork means or what it's saying or what it's showing. And so our eyes go to the top of the paper first because that's how we learn to read. We read from the top down. And so if you put your name at the bottom, you're now allowing the viewer to look at what you've created, process it, think about what it reminds them of or what it might mean to them or how it might make them feel. And then as they look down the page, then they find your name and they say, oh, that's the artist that created this beautiful piece of artwork. It's fantastic, right? So don't ruin that experience of discovery and excitement for the viewer, okay? So please remember all of that. I know that it was a lot of information, but I really, really miss you guys and I'm excited to see your pieces, so please send them in. And yeah, thank you so much for joining our class today again, and I will see you again next time, okay? All right, bye-bye.